Good morning, everyone. Jason here. All right. So, in this class, I want to welcome you and congratulate you. I mean, you took that first step in signing up for date, and the first question that I want to help you get addressed is what is the difference with date, what does it help with, as well as what is it for. Okay, now of course date stands for demand and discovery. We're going to, in this video, right, in this class, we are going to go through all individual components, okay, and then to teach you about all of that. Okay, so today is more of a introduction to date. There incoming, right, there will be more classes that combines with it. Now, first off, do you remember this one that I talked about it during the first intro class? I talk about how the money, right, that we are trying to make is really just an outcome of doing two things right. Okay, well, in theory, I believe that every other thing, right, hones into these two things. You know, if you got the roots correctly, you groom the roots properly, the tree trunk is safe, right? I believe that every other skills are to do these two things. That's what my sincere belief is. In my younger days, I thought, there can be so many things, but I found out that in my later life, 20 years later, I realized every skill set, every knowledge, and everything that we try to learn, right, it's all for these two things. And if you are learning for these two things and you understand this formula, it's all about fixing these two. So what is this two? So in this class, I reviewed to you this formula. So this two is actually the eyeball and the thrust. And in date formula, right, it's all about getting the eyeballs, right? So in date formula series, there's actually more than just one class. It's more than one part. It's a 3-part series that build up the entire date framework. And in order to do that, that's why it's going to be a few series of a class. So today is a introduction to date. Why do you need it and how do you take advantage of it? Now, at the same time, right, then what is 1Pitch for? So 1Pitch was designed to create rapid thrust, to build massive rapport, thrust, and the speed of to reduce the sales cycle to achieve the highest speed of closing. My students and graduates would often joke and say that it's like the F1 of closing because it's so fast in terms of speed, in terms of sales, in terms of closing. So that's what both programs are for. One is for closing, the other one is for selling. One is to get the eyeballs, one is to rapidly build the trust. So that's why, right, 1Pitch has worked so well for so many graduates. Why? Because especially if you already have the eyeballs on you, but somehow, right, you can't monetize. If you already have the eyeballs on you, you kind of like go networking and everything. That's why it works so well for some people. Now you get it? Right? Now, so there'll be two groups of people. Let's see which one you belong to. One is you're already going to networking event, you're creating content, you're meeting people, but somehow, right, you're not monetizing. Now, do you realize why? See, because, right, number one, you don't know the sequence of selling. Number two, you're not selling enough. Number three, if you are, then there's no trust being built with the eyeballs that's giving you. So you might have a lot of views and a lot of followers, but all these views and followers, right, did not give you an ounce of trust. So the amount of trust, how do you know how much amount of trust you have? Your bank account, right? Because you know why? If your bank account is super thick, that represents that you have super trust. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say a property, real estate. Why do they charge $1 million? Because there's trust in the concrete that it will not fall. Make sense? So people pay for that trust. So that the property developers' wallets are thick because they represent trust. Do you see that? Now, can you have a business that just relies without trust? I have not found a single one. To be honest, I've not found a single business that does not have trust and still make a lot of money. Okay. So it's very important for you to make sure that you learn, study, and practice and master the skills inside of 1Pitch, because that allows you to build massive amount of trust, very fast, very big, very huge, and very deep level of trust. So if you want to close $1 million of deals, that is for you. All right. Now, how big of a millions? Do you remember this result? 3 million since 2019, since 2016, right? They make 100,000 in 90 days, right? And if they repeat and and all of this is just the same skill repeated, 2,000 website becoming 2 million, 60 million AUM, making 30,000 in 60 days. Why? Because they learn to build massive amount of rapid trust, even if they have not gone viral yet. Make sense? Good. So this is to cover about the difference. So then what is date formula, right? Date formula helps you to get the eyeballs needed in order to build those trusts. And it's not a singular thing, it's a combination of both things, right? Because as you get the first eyeball, you want to immediately build trust very, very fast. Make sense? Good. All right, so know that the date formula has 3 parts to master it. Okay, so they are the buyer pyramid, the sales funnel, the consumer journey. So in full, right, it looks something like this. All right, in another class we will talk deep into these kind of things in detail. Okay, now for those of you who might be listening to this class for the first time, maybe you get your hands on this class from because someone gifted it to you, because you will benefit from it, then and you want to learn about the 1Pitch program, you want to start to learn about how to build the speed of trust to receive the F1 of trust, right? Okay, so go to free class, go and get a free class on authorjason.com/reviews. All right, and on there you will discover how you can raise more capital for your company. If you're an educator, how can you enroll more students? Or if you are an old, traditional, and boring business, how can you get more buyers coming to your business and using your product and service? Okay, so let's recap, why are we doing all of this? Okay, the reason why we are doing all of this is so that you stop becoming the one of the many, so that you don't get compared to everyone else and have to deal with toxic customers. You have to deal with competition, bargain hunters. They want the price of a lobster, they want the price of a prawn but given a lobster, and even if you give it to them, they still be very disrespectful to you. Your efforts are not appreciated and you're treated like a freaking commodity, right? So you don't want that. What you want is to be the best of the industry, to be the only logical choice, right? To be exclusive, unique, and special. So why would you want to do that? It's very simply for 3 outcomes. This is the same 3 outcomes that I wanted. I wanted to charge premium fees for myself. I wanted to have high quality buyers and investors, and I want to reduce sales cycle. All right, I want to achieve very fast sales cycle, because if you can make 10K in 30 days, then in 300 days you make 30K, 100K, right? If you can make, instead of making 100K in 10 months, if you can make 100K in 10 days, right? In the whole same year, you change, right? So that's the reason why we want to do all of this. And the date formula, right? All the teachings is going to help you get positioned for it. So in terms of 1Pitch, right, it really helps with your closing. Okay, in terms of date formula, it helps with your selling and marketing before they allow you to close them. Got it? Okay. So in 1Pitch, it covers on how do you teach, how do you actually do the teaching, how do you actually properly set yourself up in a position of power in order for you to do all of the things inside of the date formula. All right, now, so let's start with the first one. It's called demand and discovery. So demand and discovery means what? this demand and discovery, right, means that number one, you got to do a self check on your product, right? Does it have a natural demand? Okay. Now, how do you know if you have a natural demand? Well, your product, right? Can you be found by ready buyers? Is it a product that is naturally searched for by ready buyers? Okay. So, like for example, let's see. For example, Jeffrey, right? He sells economic tuition. Okay, so he sells economic tuition, and economics tuition is a constant demand, meaning every time there will be people who look for this service. So there's a natural demand. Okay, so if you don't have a natural demand, then what do? You have to do like what this laundry service did. Okay, what he did, what I teach him to do is, if your demand is already declining, it's sunset already, then what you want to do is to make sure that you tap onto a new sunrise trend. What do I mean? So his industry, right, is already going down, ma. So because his industry is going down, right, lesser people are going on Google to find. They ask for referral lah and this. So what I did was, what I teach him to do is partner with a rising industry, partner with a rising demand, partner with a rising trend, so that the demand, he's latching onto the new demand. Make sense? And because he's latching on the new demand, right, what happened is that he's easier to receive referrals. It's easier to be discovered by ready potential buyers. And that's how he closed contracts of so much of money, Now, so if your product is in a natural decline, you're already in a sunset industry. Tap into new demand and new trend. Got it? And if you don't have a natural demand, that is a big problem. Because if you don't have a natural demand, then you are either selling something people don't want to buy. So if you're selling something don't want to buy, right, you have to do this thing called the demand generation. You have to generate your own demand. You have to produce your own demand. Okay? And that was me when I first started, decades ago. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. Let me get a coffee. I have no idea what the fuck I was doing. I was offering Facebook advertising. I was doing okay in Facebook advertising, and then after that, I got swayed by opinions, and after that, was doing this and that, and I started creating so much unique stuff, and it was so unique that nobody heard about it. Nobody knows about it. Nobody knows what to do with it. It's too unique. It's so unique, too unique, and very, very nobody knows. So if nobody knows, right, then why would they want to go and buy it, right? Nobody would buy a weird product. Got it? Okay. So I was like covering healing lah, business lah, and everything lah. It's like a totality lah. Then after I realized, hey, nobody search for totality business kind of thing. I was doing things like, what enlightened entrepreneurs lah, or whatever lah. All these terms and everything, right? There is not a natural search term. It's not a natural buying path. Got it? There's no natural buying path. Okay? So when this comes to natural buying path and all this, you will learn it in the other series, okay? In one of these series, you'll learn about it. So today's is like a big overview. And when you learn all these three, it's going to be in detail, okay? So don't worry if you don't know what I'm talking about right now. When you learn that three, you start to like piece it together. Okay? So anyway, so if you are selling something super unique, right, because of your own creation and innovation, it's not the end of the world. If nobody searches for what you're selling, there's two things you can do. Okay? One, you stop selling it and find something else to sell. Because you don't have demand means there's no natural search term, means there's no buyers. You can't be selling something that nobody's buying and hoping to get rich, right? Okay, it's stupid. Got it? Now then after that, the other way is that you produce your own demand. Okay, you got to produce your own demand. And when I say produce your own demands, right, means that it's a little bit of a more uphill battle, more resistant, and then at the same time, right, little bit more hard work, not impossible, because eventually I believe that if you're in that stage as I was, I believe that eventually you found your way out. Okay, so I believe that eventually you'll find something tagged into the whatever you're selling. If you're already selling very simple stuff, very easy to identify demand stuff, then there's no issue, right? Whether it's weight loss lah, things like that, you're selling something that is very commonly known, that's okay. If you're selling something that is like Uber when it's early days, if you're selling something like Amazon in its early days, nobody know the fuck what is it about. Okay, you either raise capital to sustain it, okay, that, or you change whatever you're selling, okay, which goes back to you need eyeballs on your offer. Got it? Without the eyeball, right, you can't build trust. Okay, so that was a demand. That was a huge topic about demand, and I'm very passionate about demand. Why? Because I personally, right, I suffered a long time because I was selling something without demand. Okay, so if you're stuck in that situation, right, my suggestion is for you to enter the silver circle. Why? I mean, you can either enter silver circle or enter Kingmaker's coaching, whichever suits your budget. Why? Because if you enter silver circle, right, you actually receive the destiny discovery. In that destiny discovery, right, it's where I help you to find out, okay, why are you trying to create so much unique stuff and what is aligned to your destiny. If your destiny is for billions, right, then you shouldn't be settling for million. So you're not essentially doing something wrong. You're just doing something aligned with your destiny. But there's a mismatch and disconnect with reality right now. So and in the discovery, right, in the destiny discovery is where what I do is I use Chinese metaphysics. It's called 八字, right? I use 八字 to help you identify your destiny according to the charts, not my opinion, right? According to what you're born with, your destiny. So if your destiny is set to create disruptive, innovative platform, then you shouldn't even be selling a product in the first place. What you should be doing is learning skills to raise capital, get in front of investors, not product buyers. Make sense? Right? I wish that somebody told me my destiny 20 years ago. That's why now I offer it after I learned it. I spent so much time and effort and resources learning it. Would you believe? I spent over a quarter million to learn all of this. So now I try to do it for others. And once you have that destiny, right, for your next 20 years, you even know what is coming, and if you're currently facing an uphill battle, and how do you adjust, right? Because I was actually, my own destiny was someone like that, okay, to design platform and not to look for buyers, I was someone designed to be building platform and selling it, just like Uber, just like Grab and Shopee, DoorDash. I was designed for it. That's why the things I teach now that you learn, right, you realize that a lot of it has a lot of those elements. Why? Because in the last 20 years, right, I'm obsessed about learning those things. How do you build platform and sell and things like that? How do angel investors think to invest? What do they think of this model in the past? So in the last 20 years, I learned everything around it. Make sense? And that's why the way I teach you now, a lot of people see a lot of success. Why? Because during the business modeling, right, when Diamond Partners, so Diamond Partners receive my personal help to build the model, right? But in Silver Circle, you already learn about this what's that called? In Silver Circle, you already learned about business modeling. It's just that in Diamond Partner, you get me working on it. So, and in Silver Circle, you learned it, and then during coaching, we talk about it, okay? And the reason why all of this works so well are because, right, they are using startup principles. They are using platform principles that's used by Airbnb lah, SpaceX lah, Tesla lah, all these things, that even though they are just selling an ordinary laundry business, what they don't realize was that they are using principles from a multi-billion model. Okay, so that was my destiny, and now I teach it. So if 20 years ago someone were to told me my destiny, then maybe, right, maybe I'll be building a platform. That's why now my desire is about investing in the next platform, investing in the next Grab, investing in the next unicorn, the next Razor, you know. So that being said, I'm a huge. Let's recap why I talk about demand. Why I am so passionate to help you find your demand. All right, and if you're already in a product that's already have high demand, okay, then the destiny discovery can help you find other things. If you don't need it, that's fine. um, it's not just to find the product demand, it's really to find your destiny alignment, right? So if you're struggling and you're creating something unique, hey, you might be the next unicorn I want to invest in, for all I know, right? Your dreams right now, nobody knows, but it could be manifested in 20 years, right? OpenAI was a 20 years in the making before they become an overnight sensation. All right, so if you're so so that being said, that's the demand. All right, so if you're in the sunset industry, if you're creating something very unique, too special, you need to learn to tap into new demand. You need to tap into rising demand. Understand? All right, so next is about discovery. Okay, let me get a coffee. So go to if you want to for those of you who feel that that might be of interest to you, all right, you can either choose to sign up for just a discovery, or you can sign up for Silver Circle, because Silver Circle comes with the discovery. All right, now let's go into discovery. Let's go into the second D, which is discovery. How long is the class? The class will end around in another 15, maybe 20 minutes. All right, under an hour, so another 40 minutes to go maximum. Okay, so now then after that, this is all about the second thing is all about discovery. That means, can you be found on Google by buyers? Okay, remember I talked about you have to produce your own demand, right? This one is where people are already searching for what they know. Okay, so if you build up your brand, then people at least can search for your brand, right? There's this thing called brandable keyword, right? A searchable keyword. Whether are they searching for your brand or searching for your product, is important to know during SEO, right? So how do you know if you have enough of a demand? You gotta do your searches. Go to google.com, put in your whatever you're selling, the product and everything, and look at whether is it a lot of people searching and a lot of people selling or not. Okay. The second platform I'd suggest you are really on in order to produce your demand is to be found on YouTube. Why? Because I mean, look at this statistic. It's the second largest search engine, and 70% of viewers buy after they watch on Google. So that convinces you that you must be on Google, right? The third platform I suggest you start considering to produce your own demand, and even if you are a natural demand, is Quora. What is Quora? Quora is a questions and answer platform where there will always be people asking questions, and with the rise of AI, right, I think they are also producing AI questions in advance ahead of people asking. And what I found, right, is that Quora is ranking and overtaking a lot of websites to be on the first page. Even I don't know if you noticed it, a lot of searches, a lot of results are coming from Quora. And the statistics are insane. You know, ever since August 2023, right, they are receiving about 100 million traffic organic from Google, and going I mean, all the way fast forward, it's like not just 100 million anymore, it's like 300 million, you know. So that is crazy. It's like every month they have 300 million traffic going to them. So that's Quora. Then if there's only one social media platform that I suggest, whether is it going to be TikTok? No. I'm going to suggest that if there's only one social media platform that you can spend time to learn and master right now for your discovery efforts, for people to discover you, I think that no matter what you do, right, you can't run away from people who might be in higher ranking that can buy from you. Therefore, going to LinkedIn is one of the best choice, and especially with stats like that. Meaning what? In LinkedIn, right, is the highest value to lead ratio. That means every lead that's generated from LinkedIn actually has more value than every other platform. Okay, they have higher purchasing power. And you might be thinking, oh my god, LinkedIn is only for B2B. Not true. Look at this. There's 51% of companies, right, acquired a B2C customer through LinkedIn on the top left. Do you see that? Okay, so I believe that LinkedIn is a force of power that especially if you're a founder, if you're the owner yourself, which majority of you are, you want to connect with others to get tap into new demand, new trend, and work partnership. So it's actually very valuable for you to master LinkedIn. Okay, now when I talk about demand, remember I talk about demand production. How do you produce your own demand and have people coming to your brand? This is how. You have to actually leverage on mainstream media. You have to leverage on getting interview published and everything. Okay, now this is not taught in date. Date covers the most basics of the basics in order to get visibility and eyeballs. This is an advanced class. This is advanced and inside the silver circle. And inside the silver circle, right, I'll show you how to get in. I'll show you how to get there. Okay, and as diamond partners, for diamond partners, they enjoy this limelight with me. So when you actually get featured by mainstream media, now I don't know what is your budget range right now as you're watching this. I don't know what is your capex and opex. If your finances allows it, I suggest that from this year you start planning for this. In fact, if you want to do it, you want to do it right now, right? You might want to, if you're not already, I really suggest you upgrade to silver circle so that you get a piece of this. And once you get in, I tell you, your entire orbit and oscillation of your selling and your product and your positioning, everything changes. Okay, this is high demand generation, very very high. Why? Because once you are interviewed and published on international media, right, everything changed for you. It cuts you from the noises of the industry. Why? Because consumers are always looking for someone to trust, a brand to trust. Okay, and if let's say you have this versus everyone else who doesn't, it makes the whole selling a lot easier. And when you have 1Pitch as that machine gun, that shotgun, and the cannonball at your arsenal, every prospect comes to you, right? I tell you, it's like you're gonna receive. I tell you, you're gonna receive like you are going to be the Super Saiyan fusion of this four. Make sense? Because you have the skill set that can build rapid trust and close high ticket deals that can turn 2,000 into 2 million. And then you have massive eyeball popularity coming to you. Okay, you making 10 million is not impossible. As long as all the things are right place. That means your product is correct lah, you're not a jerk lah, okay? All this still plays a part, yeah? Okay. But do you see why I'm so confident now? Do you see why I'm so confident and at the same time very competent in what I'm doing? Because I know what to make things work, right? So once Jeffrey got on media, right, everything changes for him. Okay, so I highly suggest you really consider, okay, to start to put this into your perspective and context. Okay, I remember when I was first interviewed on the international media, wow, like my traffic just go crazy. My online traffic, website, people coming to me, my social media profile, everything just boom over there. So don't ignore this, okay? All right, if you don't know how to get there, don't know what to do, my suggestion is to get into silver circle. All right, is it an upsell? No, it's an upgrade. Got it? You can still do a lot of things without an upgrade. When you upgrade, right, you're just getting more of my time, a deeper knowledge, as well as the speed of scale. All right. By now you realize, right, I'm very very different. You get so much, you get everything out of me in this course. Even without the upgrades, you can do it on your own. Don't you agree? It's just that when you upgrade, you just speed up things up. That's it. All right. You know, I tell a quick story and then we go to A already. Okay. I tell a quick story. When I was starting out, right, I paid for courses, and then during the introduction, right, they tell me everything. You know, they tell me blah 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 blah. You come on this 3 day, and then after that you will learn all of this, and then I was so excited. I go there, and then after that, right, I go for the 3 days already, right. Then after that they say, oh no, in order to learn this, you gotta upgrade for that. You gotta buy that. I'm like, huh? During the introduction, you said I'll get everything, and that I still that course, my first course, I was so traumatized by it because I was using a credit card to attend the class, and the credit card is not mine anymore. I have to call my aunt and borrow from her, and she has to take leave in order to go and pay for me, because at that point of time, no one in my house has a credit card. I want to get on the installment plan, you know, I was so frustrated by that shit. You know, they tell me that I have to spend another 3, 4, 5K in order to get what they promised inside the introduction. You know, then after that I'm like, wow, fuck. So I told myself, if I ever were to stand there one day, right, I would never do that. You know, what I sell you is what you get. You know, and if it's an upgrade, I'll tell you it's an upgrade. You know, but if not, you know, I just so pissed by it. So today I give a lot, and that's how I built my career up in the last 20 years. I give and give and give, and sometimes I get hurt by it, but I still give and give and give. It's like a toxic relationship with this teaching world. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna show you how you can get featured like Jeffrey. Got it? Even if you have no budget, even if your budget is limited. When your budget is ready, when you have the budget for it, look for me. Enter Silver Circle, join Diamond Partners. But before you have that massive budget, okay, I'll show you how to get on it. Maybe slower, maybe a bit of a gamble, but it's proven to work. All right. The speed is the what's this called? The speed is the time is the unpredictability, but the outcome is guaranteed. All right. So what I want you to do is every day for 1 hour of your day, just 1 hour, I want you to go to LinkedIn or any other platform. Go and search for the topic that you are in. For example, weight loss. For example, whatever it is, all right, weight loss. Look for someone who is an expert, an authority, an influencer, or a celebrity. Got it? Then after that, right, I want you to go and follow them, add them as friend, and I want you to go to their posts, look for a topic and things that you are interested in, okay? And then after that, step 2, what I want you to do is comment on that post and add your ideas to it. Add your perspective into that idea. Add your perspective into that post. Whether you disagree or you agree. My suggestion is don't disagree lah, right? You don't want to offend people or make friends at your first time, right? So find things that you agree with, add your own perspective into it, add your own experience into it. Got it? Color it, so to speak. All right, add colors into that conversation. Now, step 3. What I want you to do is on the same post, I want you to, on a separate comment, I want you to, or in the same comment, it doesn't matter. I want you to tag 1 to 3 person that you can think of that can also add colors to the conversation. Invite them to also suggest or contribute their perspective, experience, and story. Okay? And I want you to do this, right, for the next 100 days. For just 1 hour a day. Okay? Now, what will happen is you will unlock the second, the part 2 of date. Why? Because what happened is that when you do that, right, you open up a gateway of a portal of attention in 4 ways. It's crazy. Number 1, you would have the post creator himself or herself checking out who are you and why did you post, and they'll click on your profile and they'll see what you do. That's demand generation. Got it? Okay, people don't search for you, but they go and check out your profile and they know what you do from there. So now you are known. Okay, you cannot do a business without being known, without eyeballs. So now you have eyeballs. Got it? If you don't exist in the first place, there's no purchase can be made. So people got to know you, like you, trust you, right? So then you got to be known first. This is how you get known. So the post creator himself, which is an expert, authority, or influencer and celebrity, okay? So you cannot go and do this on nobody, because this nobody doesn't have the leverage to help you, right? So this is like the noblemans, the 贵人. So right, then after that, what happened is this. What happened is that they will check you out. So you open up one portal of attention. Got it? Now second, right, the people who are kaypo, passerby, curious, they go in, they take a look, they saw your comment, they see, hey, this is interesting, this is colorful, this story is interesting, who is this guy, what does this person do? Same thing, they click your profile, they see what you have been posting, they look at you, and then they're like, they see what you do. And if you have a website there, a funnel, an opt-in, right, that's the second portal that's open up. Then there's the third portal that open up, which is the people that you tag. The people that you actually suggest to invite them to add contribution. And why would these people do that? Okay, two reasons. One, support you, they enjoy with you, and they know you. They know you are doing this strategy. So that's why Kingmaker's circle is going to be beneficially supporting each other. Because everyone is supporting each other in terms of this strategy, right? So it becomes like a very, very powerful network effect. Now, then after that, so they will do that for you. So when they do that, right, if you are tagging new people, then what happens is that they will check you out. Hey, who is this person who just tagged me to add colors into this conversation? Okay. Now then after that, that's the third portal. Got it? And when you do this thing right, the 3% you tag will thank you, because they might do business with the post creator himself, because probably they are going to be in parallel industry. They might not be selling weight loss, but they might be selling weight loss equipment. Okay? So then they might end up doing business, and then they'll come back and say, hey, I want to thank whoever tagged me to make this friendship in the first place. Got it? Maybe not now, maybe a decade down the road, I don't know. Have you ever experienced something that you will thank that person for the original point of contact? Right? So then after that, the fourth portal that you open up, you see, when these three people tag, right, and they respond, right, what happened is that the algorithm will show it to their friends too, that hey, your friend just commented on this post. And then their friend circle, if they're interested in the topic, they go in, they look at it, they look at that thing, they look at who tagged them, they look at whatever, they look, kepo, curious, then they see what you do, and if what you do and what you sell is happen to what they need, boom. Alright? So do you see the power and the strategy and the tactic of this? If you just commit 1 hour a day to do it. So will you commit 1 hour a day to do this? This was how I started, man. This is how a lot of my beginner students all started like that. I mean, when you're just starting out, right? How do you get that 30K budget to, get on PR lah, hire an expensive coach lah, Maybe some of you are on this course, even on like me, right? You put it on credit card, make a per month payment, and then hopefully the next month you get enough sales to cover every other installment, right? So I know your struggles, because I've been there. Takes one to know one, right? So I know. So I have to give you something that doesn't require the upgrades to make you rich and make you successful and get you out of the way. So everything I give you, right, is proven to work. The only thing that's left, right, is your commitment to make it work. That's why you need to commit time into making it work. If you have the money, then use it to buy time and speed it up. If you don't have the money, then you have to use time and commit to your skills. Got it? Alright? So is everyone getting a lot of enlightenment and aha moment? This open up the 4 portals, okay? And once you do that, right, potentially, Jeffrey didn't pay a single cent for getting on media, right? Now, but will this be a guaranteed placement? Of course not. It's not a guaranteed placement. But would this increase the probability and the likelihood? Yes. Has this been proven and shown to work? Yes. All right. Because how do you know it's not a journalist that is looking at that conversation? How would you know that the people you tag just to add the colors to the conversation wouldn't know some journalists involved? How would you know the celebrity, authorities, expert and influencer wouldn't know some other journalists that's on their friend list? Make sense? Alright? Yeah. So this is the viral effect. This is the network effect. This is what I teach people to go viral. Okay? And you'll be crazy because you don't know when you're sleeping or when you're out in meeting how many eyeballs are coming to you. So that's why, right, it's the eyeball strategy. Okay? To get yourself discovered, to get eyeballs. Is this very, very, very enlightening? Alright? The child inside of me is getting very excited because I know what you're thinking. I know how excited you are. Alright? Okay. Contain the assignment and do it once per day, okay? 1 hour a day for 100 days. Commit yourself to 1 hour a day for the next 100 days. And remember to send in your results and testimonials to me, okay? I want to feature you on my wall of winners. I want to put you here. Got it? Okay. Okay, the next part of the next part is on attention. Now, in attention, right, not only that will get you attention. Okay, I teach this topic even deeper during the 1Pitch program, alright? I talk about the 20 destiny switch. Okay, so if you want to learn about that 20 destiny switch, right, you got to learn it in the 1Pitch program, okay? Now, but in this class, I just want to teach you the basics of this first. Now, in the 1Pitch program, I talk about this destiny switch. This, in science term, right, is called the amygdala. In the amygdala, right, this destiny switch, right, they only respond to 3 things. They only respond to fear, they respond to loss, or they respond to a danger. Okay? So how do you get massive amount of attention, right, from your prospect, from your potential customers, from the eyeballs that you're going to get from the strategy above? Okay? Now you got to ask yourself, right, what are the things that your prospects are fearful the most? Because the destiny switch, right, is in control all the time. You see, I taught this to you before, right? I said about how people vote with their wallets, but they decide with their heart. But the truth is they are switched on in their head. In this little light bulb here, in this destiny switch over here. Okay? When this light bulb is switched on, it takes over the entire brain. There is a term for it. It's called amygdala hijack. If you want a deeper research into the topic, you can. Right? Search for amygdala hijack. It's the reason why people are in depression, people are hopeless, people cry all the time. It's all because of this little 1% switch over here that controls everything. When you tremble, when you are fearful, when you are trembling, when you're shaking, it's all because of this, most of the time, right? So when this is happening, right, it's because the destiny switch detects fear, loss, and danger. That's it. So you gotta ask yourself, right, what are the things that your customers are fearful that will lead to a purchase, that will make them realize danger so they will buy? Because this destiny switch is responsible for controlling your entire life. When they find that something is not aligned, it's because this destiny switch realized that, oh fuck, this guy is a danger, this person is a danger, this thing is dangerous. Because why? it does not align to the destiny. Got it? If it aligns with the destiny, there's no danger. If it aligns with the destiny to continue living out your destiny, there's no danger at all. In fact, the destiny switch will say, go, 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 because this is aligned to our destiny, right? So when there's a misalignment, or when they are misaligned, when they are not aligned to their destiny, they are fearful. The destiny switch turns on, and they become fearful of, oh my God, I'm not on my destiny. I'm not in my destiny path. What if I don't get on the path? Fuck. So all the mistakes, right, that you are making is all because of this. Because the destiny switch is the reason why you're losing money. The destiny switch is the reason why you are making the wrong decisions, and making you redirect your choices. Because the destiny switch is in control of your life. So when you're doing things that puts your destiny in danger, that will lose your life path, all right, the destiny switch turns on and force you to lose money in that path. Until you get back on that path, the right path, the destiny switch comes down and you make money again. Okay? Very interesting science, yeah? Now, so coming back, this destiny switch is to do what? Let's recap. It's either to fight a situation, to fly away, or to freeze on the spot. Now, and it responds to what? It responds to image, it responds to visual. So what you want to do when people visit your profile, okay, remember, I teach the 20 switch in the 1Pitch program. If you don't have the 1Pitch program and you're watching this, I suggest highly that you go and get it, because then you really have your own light bulb turn on. You'll get sales so easy once you understand this. Alright? So what you do is, using the triggers, using the switch triggers, right? What you then do is that make sure your profile is not some random pictures. Make sure that your profile actually helps them switch on the switch, or people who have their destiny switch already switched on, they will pay attention very specifically, right, for anything that can help them get back into their destiny. Make sense? Okay, so example. Here comes an example. So when Jeffrey first worked with me, the first thing was to change out this and make sure that this strategy is in place. So the flip side was changing it to this. You can see that the design is not perfect. It's not even a professionally designed thing, yet he can make 100K in 90 days. Why? Because his prospect who came and checked out his profile and everything have their destiny switched, turned on, if not already turned on, and then look at this and it's like, hey, this guy, the brain is telling the prospect, the brain is telling the customer, right? The destiny switch is saying, hey, this guy, Jeffrey, okay, he can make me go back to my life path, my destiny path again. He can make it happen again, okay? Because why? Because the people who comes to him wants an A in economics, and the people who goes to him are currently getting A or not getting A, right? So because they are not getting A, they are fearful that they don't get the A. It's in danger, they are in danger mode. So what Jeffrey did, so what I switched with Jeffrey is this provides relief. When this provides a relief for that destiny switch is like, hey, this guy has what I need to turn it off, to be not in danger anymore. So this wasn't an overnight effort. This was a lot of discovery to find out what is the prospect, what are the buyers most fearful of, right? So you got to ask yourself, okay, to protect his competitiveness, I can't give you those details. So I'll give you questions to think about, okay? What is the prospect most fearful of? That is so fearful that they can't sleep at night. Every day they wake up, the first thing they do is fear. Before they sleep, also fear. What is the thing that they're most fearful of? Number one, okay? Number two, what are they currently losing? And if they don't get your product, what will they stand to lose as well? Okay? Number three, what if what if they continue this path, what are they in danger in? What is coming ahead? Is there a waterfall coming ahead? Is there a wall ahead that they will crash into? What is that wall in front of them that they will crash into? What is it that they will lose? And what is it that they are very fearful of? These three questions. Alright? Because they respond to these three. Once you have that question, what you do is to position a relief for that problem. Understand? So when you execute this strategy, then when people come to your profile and check you out, they found relief. Got it? Okay, good. Now, what other ways that you can use it besides the profile banner? Your WhatsApp status, right? If you look at my WhatsApp, if you have my WhatsApp, right, it's designed that way. Okay, your email signatures. Don't waste your precious email signatures, because if you have attention on your email signatures, chances are there is a form of trust already there. Therefore, is to get eyeballs on that trust. If you are emailing on and off, right? So I see a lot of corporate companies, right? I mean, they all put some generic email signatures lah, this lah, that lah, it's like they're still doing marketing 1.0 like that, So and just doing that one thing could just boom their sales by 300%, especially for their sales team. You'll be surprised by just doing this. Okay, the trick is to understand the trick is to not sell your product, but be very familiar with the problems that your prospects are facing, and the reason why they need to make a purchase. All right. Because truth to be told, right? Nobody wake up one day and say, "Hey, I need to buy Jason's date program." Nobody wake up and say, "Hey, I need to buy Jason's 1Pitch program." Correct or not? It's until that rejection from customer. It's only when that multi-million contract deal falls apart. It's only when that prospect ghosted you, and then you're like, "Fuck, man, maybe I really need to." Correct or not? And that brings us to what? The third one, which is trust, right? Trust and triggers. So in this, I don't talk about triggers, but it's actually trust and triggers. Got it? Just for simplicity's sake, it's all about the trust building. Now, similarly, I teach the 20 trust builders in 1Pitch. All right. In this class, I teach you one of the most powerful from the 20. Okay. Now, so make sure you enroll into 1Pitch for you to learn what are the 20 trust builders for the 20 trust builder triggers. Okay, right? Like I said, you didn't came in here and enroll into this program just because you wake up one day wanting to buy, right? You were triggered, and during that trigger, before that trigger, you already have some form of trust given to me, even if you have never spoken to me. All right? You have given me some form of attention already before. It's because I know what are the 20 triggers of trust, as well as I know what are the 20 destiny switch. Okay? So when you know that, you can be very, very powerful. All right? So from the 20, I want to teach you something that's very powerful in this class, in the line of date formula. Okay, so in the line of date formula, right, what I want you to do is go and set up your wall of power. Now, if you go, you probably, if not already, have seen all of these results. So what is the wall of power? The wall of power is a series of testimonials, results, not testimonials, sorry. It's a series of reviews, not reviews also, right? Success stories and results, right? Testimonials and reviews too. So what it does is that it provides irrefutable results, undeniable proof that you can deliver the outcome, the desired goal, the dream goal of your prospect. Okay? So nobody can deny that my program can deliver results. All right? Because I have this wall of power. That's number one. So if you go to authorjason.com/reviews, those are my wall of power. Anytime and everyone who needs questions to answer their doubts is there. All right. So that's one. Do you have a wall of power? Okay. This wall of power is not about online. Do you realize not? If you are someone who constantly do presentation in your office, okay, if you are someone who constantly have people coming to your show flat, showroom, office, meeting rooms, how can you have this wall of power with irrefutable results hanging up on your wall? All right. So when I am consulting with private companies, enterprise, and corporates, I look at how are they doing their selling. Okay. And the true closing happens before the selling, before the presentation. It happens during the marketing itself. Okay. Now, if you don't realize by now, I don't use the word marketing a lot. For me, selling is the marketing. Closing is the presentation and taking money. So selling is my version of marketing, all right? Just to get the terms clear. So when I talk about selling, right, I'm talking about marketing too, okay? So, when I look at a corporate and an enterprise, now what I want you to do is look at your current path of selling before leading up to the closing, right? In between is the presentation, okay? Now, before you make the presentation, how are they being sold to? So when I was consulting with some of the companies, they always have prospects coming to them on the weekends. Always have the weekends because of appointments on the weekends. And they have a lot of things on the wall that does not mean anything except to them. But I noticed that when they have a 1 p.m. appointment, right, customers might show up 12:30 and they'll just sit there browsing magazines. You don't want that. You don't want that. It's like so stupid. That's like, no, you want to control the flow of selling right once they enter the door, even before they enter the gates. You want them that during that 30 minutes to see your wall of power. All right? And specifically what kind of items are taught in 1Pitch, okay? You will learn it during the power module. Okay, those are the things that you put up to position yourself with irrefutable results and undeniable proof that you are the right and most logical choice. When you allow them to sit there, browse magazine until your appointment, man, that is such a waste of their 30 minutes. Okay? So you got to be in control of the sequence. You got to be in control of the flow of the selling before the presentation, before the closing. Strategically, you have to be in control what they see, smell, taste, touch before they meet you, before they enter the conversation. Got it? All right. Now, so what can you put up on your walls if you are constantly having appointments and meeting with people? Okay. If you are selling online, what can you put up? Right, when people are browsing? If you have a home-based business, how can you do that too? Okay, and relook at what you have right now. When customers and clients come to your office, what do they see? You know, in the alleyway, in the lift and everything. Strategically design the entire selling path before they even meet you, they are sold. That's how you do it. So that's called the wall of power. All right. Okay. So the second feature and the benefit of a wall of power is what? It desensitizes the price. What do I mean by desensitize the price? You see, if you are here, that means you want to charge premium, right? You want to charge expensive, right? You're selling something that's expensive, and people is always saying what? It's too expensive, it's so expensive. Correct or not? I often joke with people and I said, no, I'm not expensive, you're just broke, you don't have the budget. It has nothing to do with my price. You cannot afford it, not that I'm expensive. True or false? Alright, time check now, 1 hour, 60 minutes already. We will end in another 10 minutes, okay? I have one last module to go. So, with that being said, how do you desensitize the price? It's the war of power. You see, when you have results like that, irrefutable results like this, undeniable proof that it can produce the outcome that they want, okay? Is 30,000 too much to ask to learn how to go from 2K to 2.5 million? Think about it. I mean, don't even think about it. The answer is no. Okay? The only reason why you cannot, I know that for 30,000 I can get you the result. I know that for 100,000 I can get you the result. The question is, do you believe you can get the result? Do you have the financial means? Make sense? Alright? A racer never doubts his own talent and ability and skill set to get championship. The question is, can the Red Bull team afford to pay Max Verstappen? If they cannot, he goes to other teams. Very simple. Make sense? Right? So Max Verstappen is never expensive. Why? Because Verstappen, his last name is so hard to pronounce. Right? Anyway, so it's not that he's expensive. It's the team cannot afford to pay him. Agree? Alright. So it removes that problem of saying that what? You are expensive when you have a war of result like this. Now third, what does it do? It removes the doubt. Because of the irrefutable results and the undeniable proof, it removes the doubt that you are expensive because you can produce the result. You have been producing results. Okay? It also removes the doubt of with the stories and the case studies. It removes the doubt whether this is the right thing for them, because you see, prospects don't become buyers, right? They don't make a decision, right? Because they have doubts in their head. With doubts in their head, they will never make a decision. Understand? And what are the three main doubts? Number one is, does it work? Number two is, will it work for me? Number three is, would it be easy or difficult to achieve the result? Is it easy? All right. So if it's difficult and they doubt it, they can do it, they won't buy it. If it doesn't work for them, they doubt that this. Okay, so for example, if someone who is an educator and a teacher comes to my wall of power, they look at so many other educators have achieved result, they wouldn't have that problem of thinking, will this work for me? Because they have seen educators receiving the result. Got it? They won't have the problem of thinking, will it work? Because they know it works. Okay? The only question left on the third one is, will it be easy or difficult to do? That's it. Right? And how do I make it easy for them to realize? That's my skills and my competency. Now that's yours as well. At the same time, if they already have some skills involved, if they have already some ability, okay, then they realize it's easy for them, all the doubts are removed. When those doubts are removed, that's how you can achieve very high instant sales, very fast high ticket sales. That's why 1Pitch has been called the F1 of sales, the F1 of closing. You know, so because all my graduates understand how to do these three things. Once you have these three things into your presentation, even if you're not viral, you can close multi-million deals just like that. Okay? That's how Leon turned a $2,000 website pitch into $2 million opportunity. Alright? Okay. So, finally, your prospects and your buyers, your customers and your investors, your clients and your team, at the end of the day, I want to tell you this. If they don't enjoy being around with you, they wouldn't buy. If you did not enjoy my tone of voice, If you did not enjoy my style of teaching, you wouldn't buy, you wouldn't be here, and you wouldn't want to stay until now. True? Um, so, I want to tell you this. The honest truth is, it's not about what you sell. You can be selling a t-shirt and still make a lot of money. Because at the end of the day, right, it's all about who you are. Are you a jerk or are you someone kind? Are you a bitch or are you a nice guy? Okay? And if you're a jerk, for sure you can still make a lot of money by making money with other jerks, by trampling on the lower what's that called? A lower hierarchy people, right? Why not? Making money is a science, it's not a mystical art. Making money is science. As long as you have the right product, you promote it, have the right eyeballs with some trust, you can make money, no problem. Okay? At the end of the day, it's not about what you sell, it's about who you are. So what I found out is that you can either have reasons or you can have results. And the victims usually have more reasons why they fail, why they are not successful. While winners, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, they all have results. They have results because they have someone coaching them. They have results because they have someone telling them what they need to do. Right? They have results because they don't give up. Right? For the victims, they always have reasons why they are failing, why they don't deserve, why they blah blah blah. Right? Okay? So the only why that winners and champions have is, they said, the why is the discipline of training and practice. So this is a very famous quote from Lao Tzu. Let's read it together, shall we? Watch your thoughts. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, they becomes my destiny. Now this is a very, very powerful phrase. I want you to print it out. I want you to look at it daily. And I want you to realize that, do you see that it's not, sometimes a lot of things is not about what you say. It's really about what you do. What is your body language? What is your tone of voice? It's who you are, not what you do. It's who you are and not what you sell. Right? And to that statement, right, I want to add on one more phrase that I personally created. And that's, watch your decisions, because they become your results. You see, for the victors and the victims, right, what I found out is this. The victims, the people who live in victim mode, they are always blaming others for their reasons of failing. Always somebody else's fault. It's never their own. It's never their the reason is never them. It's always other people's fault. And then, right, they're always giving excuses why they are failing, why they are not succeeding. And they're always living in denial. And what I found out, right, is that the reason why they are stuck in victim mode is because they lived in shameful behaviors. They have guilt in their action or from the past, and they have regrets. I found that when I was down and under. Because hey, I'm not perfect. I've disappointed others as well. I lived in victim mode in my dark years too. You know? I'm lucky because since 21 years old I studied this principle. But still, I was caught under the line for a while. You know? And I still disappointed people. Even though it's not my intention to, I still hurt people too. Right? And what I found out during my dark years, as I was going for spiritual healing, I was going for emotional recovery and healing, right? And as I listened to a lot of stories out there, I realized that it just comes down to these three things as I listen to the stories. There's no other things that is besides. They are either shameful of something that they have done. They have guilt over something they have not done. They also have or done, right? And they have regret for something that they have done and not done. And they spend their next 20 years, 30 years, right, or the last 30 years, right? They spend the last 10 years trying to recover what they regret in the last 30 years. And then they live the next 10 years trying to recover the guilt that they did in the last 30 years. That's why they don't make money. That's why they have money blockages. That's what I found. So it's so much so that it's not about what they do, it's about what they don't do anymore. Make sense? It's not about what you do from here. It's about what you don't do anymore from here. It's not about the addition and the multiplication. It's about the subtraction and division right now. What do I mean? From today onwards, right, I hope you live above the line. Remember I said it's not about what you sell. You can be selling a t-shirt and still make a gigantic amount of money. Okay? And how do you build rapid trust? Is when you live above the line. When you live above the line, right, you behave like champions. You're proud of your achievements, you're proud about what you do, and you're celebrated for your success. When you shame others, right, you're always worried about being shamed. That's why you cannot celebrate yourself in happiness and in joy. When you always blame others, when you're always looking for the dirt in others, when you have darkness in you, you are so fearful that others will always shame you too. Therefore, you can never celebrate any success you might have. You can never celebrate any achievement that you have. True or false? So even in moments of celebration, because you're living in guilt, because you're living in shame, because you're living in regret, you don't feel that you deserve that celebration because you're not proud. Your soul, your destiny is not proud of who you are. Wouldn't you agree? Now I'm talking about myself. That's me. That was me. That have been me for a long period of time. And I found this in my lowest and deepest, in my darkest hour. I found that I was not proud of myself. So no matter how the world celebrated me, no matter how the world praised me, I can never, ever enjoy the celebration. I'm always looking for the next thing. Because I'm always trying to cover my guilt. I'm always trying to replenish my regret. I'm always trying to suck up to my shame and cover it up. It wasn't until I made that shift to be proud of every small little decisions that I make. So much so that I will end off this class with a story. Alright? There was a time when I was taking the train. I teach so much that I was so tired. And I sat in a seat that I don't need to give up the seat so that I can rest. Someone came along, stood in front of me. Not that this person needs a seat. So I didn't, so I rest. I think to myself, well, I have students to teach, I need to be at my best. I don't need to give up this seat. So I sat there. And in that 10 minutes, just 10 minutes, that guilt and that shame as I'm sitting there eating me up alive inside of that. And then after I left the train, my entire mental fog was all about regret. What if this person was my mom? Would I have wished that another boy give it to her? What if it was someone else? My loved ones? And I spent the whole day, trapped inside that kind of thinking. And you know what happened? in the next 2 months, right? Just from the 10 minutes, in the next 2 months, I lost a big chunk of my fortune. I lost so much money that I fell into sadness and craziness. And this was after I came out of my darkest hours. Okay? So I was still in my recovery. I was still not, like perfectly stable. I was recovery. So every dollar counts. Safe to say I lost 9 months of survival cash. All because of a 10 minutes, right? Shameful and guilty that I'm not proud of. So you see, what I found out is that there's a very interesting way that life makes you pay for your guilt, shame, and regret in ways that you don't know how it will be paid. That 10 minutes cost me 9 months, because for the next 2 months, my mental fog was so high, I couldn't make the right decisions at all, because I was surrounded and swarmed and consumed by guilt and shame. Nothing I ever do can buy back that regret. So I end up making a lot of wrong decisions, and that wrong decision cost me crazy amount of back. Like, you heard of the statement, right? You move 1 step back and 1 step forward, 2 step back. Yeah, for me, it set me back 9 months. It was that bad, 9 steps. And can you imagine if you have saved up to survive for 9 months, and then you are down in it, and then you compromise it over a 10 minutes joyride? Would it be worth it? Of course not. That's crazy. So with that lesson, I hope it inspires you. I hope it encourages you, right? Why? Because now, even I drop a tissue and it flew away, as long as it didn't flew to the middle of the road, I don't need to go and risk my life taking the tissue. I will still go and grab it and hold it until I find the nearest bin. Even if nobody is watching, I feel proud. And you know what happened? Things start to shift from there. When I'm proud of doing it, right? I'm so proud, right? I walk past a tissue auntie, I don't need to swing around it. One more story, and then we'll end it off. There's a lot of people selling tissue on the streets, right? And I tell you, if you walk past some places, there will be you can see that usually people walk past the area straight. Now all it takes is someone standing in the middle selling tissue, okay? And you'll start to see, right, as if the river of flow suddenly has a rock, and everyone, right, divert their route, right, far away from the person selling the tissue. Have you seen that before? Oh my God, I tell you, I look at it and I'm like, it's like a very obvious, because I walk the same path every day. I've seen the path, I've seen the area with and without the person selling the tissue. Everyone just massively divert and become like a river, river, and then there's a stone in the middle, right? It's like this heavy stone in the middle. Nobody wants to get close to that zone. There's this zone around it. Oh my God, it's so crazy. So that same tissue auntie, there was one day that an inspiration came and told me, and that day, right, I only have $100 in my bank. $100. It's only $100. And there was an inspiration that told me, right, to give $50 to her. And I only have the last $50 in my cash. Okay? I don't know how I'm gonna survive if I do that. I walked past 2 days and I can't bring myself to do it. Right? On the second day, I still didn't do it. I crossed the road. And then I've learned my lesson not to listen to my intuition. So I listened to it. I crossed back the road. I went back to her. I faced her, walked straight into her, eye to eye. I walked into her, into that path, into that zone that nobody wants to walk in. Okay? And I faced her straight up. And I handed her a $50. Mind you, when I was having $100 and under. I don't know how much I have. I think $60 or 70, and I gave her 50. 90% of what I have. Crazy. I'm like, intuition, crazy, God, Buddha, whoever you are, like, are you crazy? You know. Then after which, right, I gave it to her, the $50. I took 2 packets of tissue. I think I took only one. That 1 packet of tissue is $50. Speaking of which, where is it now? Forgot about it. Anyway, then after that, right, there was this huge, I don't know what is it, but there's this huge relief that released from my brain. And in that moment, right, as I handed the money to her, I took the tissue. In the exchange, right, there was a huge sudden download leading to everything you're learning today. A lot of things you're learning today. A huge download from that day onwards. Huge, massive. I'm talking about massive. Ever since that day, it's like massive clarity showed up in my life. Okay? Now that's part 1. Then after that, right, that was the day that I realized, you know, that universe gave me my message and my mission and my destiny. Because that was the day that I realized, right, that, you know, the reason why people cannot monetize and are selling tissue is because they lack that one thing, which is the things that you're learning now. The skills. They don't have skills to monetize, they don't have relevant skills anymore. And that's what makes me so passionate about teaching skills. Because if you have relevant skills, if you have this marketing skill, you can be a marketing agent, you can be a marketing CMO, you can have all sorts of jobs in your life, because this is a timeless and relevant skills that stood against the age of time. What I teach you has been used for the last century, you know. So, and then ever since that day onwards, right, when I walk past the same path, because I was like one of those people I always avoided. Ever since that day, right, I walk past and I walk straight into that zone that nobody wants to cut through, and I walk with pride. I don't hide with shame. I don't avoid with guilt, and I have no regrets. I walk past her, I can smile at her, I can wish her a very good day. Hopefully she makes income and a lot of money and getting a lot of donations. And I can walk past straight next to her. I won't have to look away in shame. I look right at her. She sees me. She remembers me. She smiles at me. I smile back at her and I wish her well. I give her a nod on the head and I continue my journey. And that alone, right, changes so many things for me in the 12 months after that. Because can you imagine, even just walking a street that costs you less than 30 seconds, that crossing that, and then every day walking past, shameful and guilty to walk past this auntie knowing she needs help, I'm not helping. And that shame and guilt eats me up every day as I walk past her before I gave her that $50. But ever since I gave her that $50, I no longer walk past with shame. I walk past with pride. I walk past proud of who I am. And the longer and the more I walk past with pride, the more I walk past without shame and without guilt, there's no negative feeling inside me feeding around. There's no bad memories being triggered by those shame and guilt. And that led me to a lot of the beautiful creation that you are seeing today. Because as I'm creating all of this, I'm creating from a space of pride, to be proud of what I do. I'm not hiding with shame. I'm not avoiding with guilt. So I'm proud to show you, like results like this. I'm proud of it. I'm not shameful of it. I'm not guilty of it. And I can design it. I design it with pride. Make sense? So I hope those two stories inspire you, that from today onwards, right, that you become a person that does not swim and sucker yourself in shame and guilt, even as simple as passing a tissue auntie. Because every day living in shame for 30 seconds can trigger 30 days of craziness. Alright? So anything that makes you feel shameful, avoid it, don't do it. Everything that makes you proud, do it immediately. And if you do this and you commit yourself for the next 100 days, I'm very sure and I'm very, 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 very guaranteed you will start to see results showing up in your life. Because why? Watch my decisions, they become my results. Watch my results, they become my destiny. Whew. Let's recap. Final recap. What did we learn today? We learn in the very beginning, we learned what? We learned that you got to sell something that's in demand. And if what you're selling is too unique and not in demand, you need to learn how to write new demands, new sunrise, right? Then after that, we learn about discovery. Get yourself discovered. Okay? Go on the different platforms that I talk about and get on media to do demand generation and get massive discovery. Right? And then after that, I give you a framework and a step-by-step 100 days action task to get yourself discovered by people who are an expert, a celebrity, an influencer, or an authority in the same field that you are in. Okay? Now when you do that, then we go to step 2. Step 2 is when you get attention. Now that you get their attention, right? Then what happens? You need to make sure that their destiny switch, you turn it on. So how do you turn on their destiny switch? Destiny switch is turned on when they are fearful of something, they are losing something, or they are in danger of what's coming. So you got to know what are your prospects fearful of and what are they in danger of if they don't buy your product. And then what you do is to position yourself that you have the relief for those things. Got it? Good. Then step 3, we talk about what? We talk about having your wall of power. Right? Because when people wants to buy from you, right, then the wall of power helps you build undeniable proof and irrefutable results. It removes the doubt. At the same time, it desensitizes the price that you're selling at. Okay? And finally, we talk about this story about how people got to enjoy being around with you, and you got to do and not do. Okay, got to do the right things and not do the wrong things anymore, so that you enjoy being around you. So people enjoy being around you. You don't want to be a complaining bastard and not doing anything that's contributing and not doing anything that's nice and kind. If people don't enjoy being around you, it does not matter how high profile, how high status, or how high titles that you have. If people don't enjoy around you, you will not get their attention. You might get their attention, but you will not get their trust. Therefore, you won't get paid. Alright? So everyone, you have a nice learning today. Okay, so that's date method for you. Okay? Now remember, date teaches you how to get all the eyeballs that you need, and 1Pitch teaches you how to build the rapid and the F1 of trust. Okay, and date series is made up of 3 different other parts of the main learning. Okay, the buyer's pyramid, the sales funnel, and the consumer journey. So today you are getting what? Today you are getting the overview of the top framework. Okay, when everything is put together, this is how it looks like. Right? So again, if you are new and you don't have the 1Pitch program, you have not started yet, and somehow you chance upon this class, then what I want you to do is, if you want to learn how to sell and how to close and how to get your hands on the F1 of trust to sell and close, then go to authorjason.com/reviews and get started on the free class. On the class, you get to learn how to get more capital for your company, for your startups, how to enroll more students, and how to get more buyers even if you are in an old, boring, and traditional business. Okay, and if you have already been with me for a while and you have attended a lot for a while and you're ready to get started, then all you need to do is go to authorjason.com/buy1pitch and enroll yourself and get yourself enrolled. And when you do, what you get is you get my latest 1Pitch platform as a bonus gift for your first year off. Okay, if you want a tour of the platform, go to authorjason.com/1pitchai. You get to see the insights and how it can replace 30 over softwares that you are already using into just one, and you get it for free for the first year. Okay, now the reason why you might want all of this, let me remember you, is all because you want to avoid becoming one of the many, so you become the only logical choice, isn't it? And then so that you can stop dealing with toxic nightmares and you can charge premium fees, get high quality people, and reduce your sales cycle. Okay, so if you want all of this and if you want to get started, then go to authorjason.com/reviews. If you are ready to enroll yourself, go to authorjason.com/buy1pitch. That being said, thank you so much for this class. I have the great fortune of teaching you. I'm blessed, I'm grateful, and I'm happy that you're learning this. Like 20 years of experience. And I'll see you at the next class. Okay, everyone? Goodbye now.